Anderson Square in Georgetown and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome and thank you for allowing us this opportunity to join you as you enjoy your lunch. Some open line until 1 o'clock. Miss Catherine Tyson Sewell will join us 1 to 1:30, so we invite you to be a part of our discussion. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us as we go straight to the phones. It is open line. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon, sir. And I do not have my phone on speed dial. Don't ask me because I don't.
Is that what you were asked? We're just glad that you willingly and so graciously make time to share your thoughts with us. So I'm
Just
so glad to hear
making
from
a
you.
whole, yeah, making everybody know it's not a speed dial number I'm dialing. I have to search for the numbers to find you.
No, you know what I think, I think the day wouldn't be the same without a call from you and a couple others, but especially,
Oh, really? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you today? Good?
Yeah, thankful, You
Yeah.
have a plan,
Yeah.
but it doesn't always go as you would like, and then you make the most of it.
Press on. You press on, make the best of it. Yes.
Once we're moving in a positive direction, right?
And you got a little bit of pain, you're going to be all right and you're alive.
Was that song No Pain, No Gain? I don't know, man. It's just a reminder that you are alive. If you couldn't feel it, you're probably numb.
Yes, definitely. Mr. Sterling, this morning I had called a show in regards to a crazy drive on the road coming there from east around by the Thomason roundabout. And he was in the left lane, and it's no way he could have stopped when he got there. He just keep on going, and he was in the left lane thinking he was going to stay in the left lane and knowing that the two lanes was good to go for airboys that's coming out of Newlands. Newlands, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to my surprise, I can't remember if another car was in the area at the time. All he did was came up there flying and then went across all three lines. Can you imagine? And then continued speeding, going down, coming towards town. And then all of a sudden, another idiot come out of nowhere flying. So the two of them have been racing or something in that category. I don't have no proof.
Yeah, well, it's something, as you said that, I'm reminded, increasingly, we're seeing it more and more in use in Cayman, but certainly international, and not for posting in this social media nonsense, but as a good way for evidence. Do you have a dash cam? How many of us have dash cams? Where we have them, they may come in handy if there's a dispute as to who's at fault, but it may help us to record these behaviors and at least provide an avenue for us to speak to something that is seemingly accurate, timely. I mean, maybe get one. I don't know who sells them and how much they cost, but probably a worthwhile something to consider.
Yes, I agree with you, but Sterling, the police officers have Walton has to approve that because Sterling the school bus, when they've been overtaking us as we start to let our children off and crossing us on the last step down on the school bus, and our life is in almost under their car. and taking down the license plate numbers and took it to the license department there by who says.
Right.
Numbers after numbers, Sterling. And you know what I was told? Are you willing to go to court to admit that this license plate is the one that you saw on the road? You have to come to court to say that you saw this. I say, really? Really? What are y'all sitting here for? Y'all don't. Why would I want to write down someone's license plate if I know that my children and myself wasn't at risk when we go to walk those kids off of the school bus? So I just stopped going to the license department. the department there by who says, trying to get help for those people to stop when they're
right.
They stop. They refuse.
But let me ask you, if I heard you correctly, I want to make sure. Those dash cams, are you of the view that the police have to approve you to put that in your private vehicle?
No.
Oh.
Not to put in my car, but to take my words and take the information off of that cam and say, yes, this car was picked up.
Right.
And you know what they also tell me? You got to make sure that the car that the person is driving belongs to that individual, because we have called people and they said they was not driving in that area and it was not them driving their car, it was someone else. So all of that is against us out here on the road.
Okay.
That's why I want Walton to come out here and do something about our road, because then we, the people, can help, because then
but yeah, I mean, I love you to interject, and thank you. I recognize you're giving us one perspective, and then there are others who may, share in. But just take what you just shared. A person owns a vehicle. It's alleged, and this is maybe where, despite the ability to manipulate video and other evidence, but let's say someone says this vehicle was seen, and the person says, no, I wasn't driving it. But if you're the responsible person, then either A, whoever else is driving the vehicle is driving it with your consent, or B, could be charged with, taking away a conveyance, right? So somehow there needs to be some inquiry to ensure that what we're experiencing isn't, what's the best way? See the norm we're creating? Well, this is what is happening in our society. It seems like nobody's responsible nor accountable. We are allowing it to be a free-for-all. And as you just shared, right, two things. One, on the cameras, don't know whether it will be helpful and what implications, if any, to the contrary. But let's say the school buses had them both facing forward, as the driver proceeds, but also, as you said, some way externally to pick up those vehicles as the students enter and exit the bus.
Yeah.
Something to consider. I mean, we can put.
Consider what I was told right there by who say gas station, the license department there, or whatever they want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Not license department, but what do you call it?
Well, it's
part of the police department.
Yeah, I think you got to go there to get a police report. That's the same place you go.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a name for it, but I.
Yes. I can't remember right now because I stopped doing it. I was taking in so many numbers there. And it was some of the cars would repeat numbers. Can you imagine? Some of the cars would repeat numbers. And they tell me that I had to go to court to prove this license plate. And then again, if the person come to court and they could say that Mary was driving instead of Jack. So I say who was driving. The person had to give them permission to drive the car.
And if they didn't, then the person could be charged for taking the vehicle without the owner's consent, right?
You know what I mean? What I mean? But it's all something to go around in this island. Anything to contradict what is good for this island is always a stupid, silly way of getting out of it.
Yeah. Well, increasingly, as we listen to what you, and thank you for sharing it publicly, whether people agree with you or not, the fact is that you're sharing an observation from your perspective, right? But it seems that increasingly, a lot of us are seeing and are saying, that the behavior isn't safe, isn't sensible, isn't civil. And in looking at what is happening, I'll give you just an example that I've experienced now the last couple of days that I found, one occurrence maybe 2 months ago, of that amount. You're driving along the road, a vehicle comes up really, really fast behind you, blows its horn, right? You're going out or near the speed limit, and this vehicle wants to get by. Doesn't seem to be an emergency vehicle, doesn't seem to be anything to indicate, and the vehicle is having to slow down because, well, it's going faster than the speed limit and just blows and blows and blows. I mean, where is that coming from? Why is that?
Sterling, would you believe that I experienced that just recently? I was not moving fast enough for the individual, and only then I went slower.
Well, this is what I'm getting concerned about, in that like I said, it's happened to me only a few times, maybe not quite 2 months ago. I was on a road. The speed limit is posted at 30 miles an hour. It's a fairly developed residential area. The car behind me decides, well, I'm not fast, and blows, and an oncoming vehicle and still overtakes nonetheless. The second time was on the Esther Highway as you're coming into work, approaching the dump. I'm driving in one lane, another vehicle is driving in the other. We're not side by side, but seemingly going sufficiently fast enough as the other cars ahead of us. This one comes up, and just, I've seen them undertake it, they say, when you go to the left and on the shoulder. I've seen vehicles go down the center lanes. But if this is a behavior that is becoming commonplace, and we as a public, are accepting it, if the policing apparatus is unable to keep up with it or is consumed with other things and can't, something has to give.
Something has to give, Sterling. I was coming up just a couple days ago on the sports area. And there was a police officer there, had someone pulled down. He was on his motorbike. And cars were coming out flying. And there was a public bus behind me. And that public bus was flashing just about every car till I get out of sight, making them know that there was an officer up front not to come down with that speed. They need to be fined for that. This police department need to come out here and say, any one of you that is flashing these cars when we're in the operation, it needs to stop. And if anyone can give us your number, we will contact you and prosecute you. Sterling, over here, living here in Cayman, it is too easy. And it's just too easy. That's the word. It's too easy. Everybody doing their own thing. Can I go to something else before my time runs out?
You go right ahead.
Sterling, the little bus stops we have Trug Island. What's the name of that gentleman again? I can't call his name. Is it not Mark? It's not Mark. Rotary guy there. What's his name? I got it in my phone, but I can't call his name to pick up his number in my phone. He does the tour bus as well too with the test.
Okay, yeah, maybe. But what about it? Is you referencing the Rotary bus shelters?
Yes, I know the gentleman, I can't call his name, but I just want to say that these bus shelters that they got out here, people are using them and throwing the garbage right down on the ground. They need to put a garbage bin there and let it be picked up on a regular basis, not by the garbage truck. People here need a job. I know people here with trucks that can go and pick up those bags out of those garbage bins and, leave the garbage bin there, whatever the case may be. It's too much garbage being stripped by these little bus stops in the daytime from Newland into Georgetown that I come across. It needs to be stopped.
Yeah.
And Sterling, the election is around the corner. We got 19 MPs, and I don't know how many of them in the last 3 years and a half has came to the radio and talked to us. I need those 19 MPs to come and tell us what they have done in 3.5 years to see what people think about re-electing them again. And I'm not talking about Christmas giveaway. I'm not talking about school giveaway. I am talking, what have you done for the country? They need to give us, we do not need no manifesto at the time of election to make us go through that and say, oh, I'm going to give him a vote again. Look, he did pretty good. We want to know now so we can make a decision when that date comes. They need to educate us now. And Sterling, we give away over 3,000 starters some years ago. Everybody went and brought their families here and put them onto the status holder. I wanted to know that 3,000 people who got that status 3 years ago, do they still have the right to bring in family members and own them as their children or their uncle, their aunt, or their dad, or whatever the case may be? Was it a one-time bringing from their countries into this island, or they have as a residents of this island, are they still allowed to bring in people under their regime of that 3,000 status? I need an answer to that. Was it a one-time?
Right.
Sterling?
Yes, Mom.
I want to know, we're part of immigration, that it's written in their law that tell the people that come here that once you get here, you can do as you please. You don't have to respect who you come and find. You're just as good to be here as anybody else. You have the right to live and live as you live. And I am talking about the permit holders, and I'm talking about people who bring their children on a work permit, that they are told that if you can show proof that you can support your child while you're in this island working, you can bring your children with you. But Sterling, I cannot understand how that works, because if you can bring your children on your work permit showing proof that you can bring them here and they can stay here on this island, why is it that they're not in a private school? Why is it that they're on government list for everything, but yet they were told that they can bring their family here if they can show support? Support means finance, living, and everything, right? Schooling and everything. I would think. So how can you tell people you can bring your family here if you can show proof of supporting your family when they're using the bus, they're getting their lunch, they're getting a free education, and God knows what else they are getting from our government, and how many is on NAU. Sterling, let me tell you something. We gone to hell in a handbasket, and if we don't put our foot down, and this new 19 members, they bill enough to come out here next year, let me tell you something. They better bring something good, and I mean good. Don't come and tell me that we can buy land now and we can edit the beach. They got to come with something else. And I got about 4 things that I want to tell them, but not today, because I know someone else want to call in.
All right. Well, certainly appreciate you sharing your perspective, right? And we'll want to pick up on some of the things you shared and see if others may have, a perspective. But thanks very much for calling, okay?
Thank you. Bye, darling.
All right. Take care. Be safe. Enjoy what you do. And to our listeners, quick pause and then join us right after the break.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Have you heard? The Ministry of Tourism and Ports has launched the Visitors Experience Development Grant Program. That's right. This program is specifically for Caymanians looking to provide a new product or service to visitors of the Cayman Islands. Successful applicants may receive up to $50,000 in funding to be used for business-related expenditures. To find out more information, all you have to do is apply online to www.ourcayman.ky/VEDGP. That's ourcayman.ky/VEDGP. DGP.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. It is open line until the headlines at 1. Miss Catherine Tyson-Sewell will join us from 1 to 1:30. But now, 949-837, 949-6990. You can WhatsApp call, message, voice note. Hey, it's on the WhatsApp only, 925-32621. Or the flow toll-free line, supposed to be open to everyone. So that's a 1-800-534-8255. In relation to the last caller's comments, one of our listeners messaged and says, I think, she's referring to the traffic office and the police department. But it sounds a lot like the police officers just don't want to do their jobs and trying to discourage honest, law-abiding citizens from passing on information that the police officers themselves should be looking into. 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp call 925-32621. Another listener says, very well said, Miss Johnny. Even in Western New Caymanians are bogging down the system, and this is horrendous. No one of us may have an answer, but sadly, there's only a few of us who think the way she does. The Miss Johns of the world. With that in mind, though, should we look more closely at what is happening in our country? Are we considering the impact that we're having? Is there a call? Let's take this one. Hey, welcome, and thank you for sharing.
Good afternoon.
And to you, how are you today?
Good, but not that good. But anyhow, I listen to Radio Cayman all the time, and I must say that what that lady just spoke about, I listened to her talking, and she is 200% of what she's saying is right. Because it's too much going on this island now that it shouldn't be. Now, I heard you all talking this morning about the buildings and whatnot, and I said they're going to stand tall. Because the island is being destroyed by tall buildings. I'm not saying that we couldn't get one or two, but it's becoming too much. You can't even see. You got to keep your eyes on the road when you're driving. But you could get a glance at the ocean, but now you can't. I don't understand what these people are doing, but they have to come up with a good thing for me to vote for them this time.
Well, it seems like a lot of people are, as you shared, disappointed, disheartened. Maybe we'll find a way to come together and do the right thing if we're willing to work together.
She's saying, and I wish I could meet her and shake her hand and hug her.
Well, I think that virtual hug and that public encouragement and acknowledgement, I think that will suffice for now, huh?
All right.
All right. Thank you, too, for your comments.
And
Have a good
keep
afternoon.
Up the good work, John. Keep up the good work.
Oh.
Because I listen to you all the time.
You know what? That's good. That's what we need to encourage. You have a good afternoon.
K-Man is my #1 station. And
Well.
everyone up to know who's calling now.
You take care, all right? Yes, well. And we try our best here, really, K-Man, to ensure that we have access and be accessible to all. As we take this next caller, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you today?
Excellent. What about yourself?
Oh, fine, thank you. I see the two ladies there have kicked up the discussion already. So all I can do is just sort of like follow along and try to keep it going, I hope.
Well, let's do our best.
Yes. We spoke yesterday a little bit just towards the end of my call about this rumor that is going around that PR holders might be allowed to vote.
Yes, gaining traction is seemingly, it's
Well, I try my best to be keyed into the situation in Cayman, and I'm in touch with a reasonable number of people, and I've picked up that actually it is true that there are some latest moves to try and see if PR holders can vote. And it's the usual argument that, well, they are here, they are contributing to the society. After all, in Cayman, it takes 15 years for you to become a citizen. I mean, surely you should start contributing earlier. There's, of course, issues of certain talk about human rights. I'm not saying they are valid or they are not valid, but that's the talk. And to me, when an issue like this arises, we need to look at it in terms of the broad perspectives as well as other implications. Remember in 2003 how the mass grant happened? How they happened. Everybody who knows a little bit of that issue knows that what happened was some people went to the governor and the FCO and said, "Hey, look, we've been in Cayman for a long time. It's very hard to get PR and status." So the British government leaned on the government in power then and said, "You guys, you better have some fairer systems of giving people PR." And then a committee was put together to review the whole immigration system. And while that was taking place, then Cabinet decided to give the mass grants. And that's why some people say, "Hey, look, if you have created a committee which you put together legislation which is going to look into it and do it systematically, why do you want to give these mass grants?" But they went ahead, they gave the mass grants, and everybody knows that a lot of the people who went there, who got on that list, they say that the majority would have got it anyway, but we don't know that for a fact. What we do know, for example, I know that two people in the office I used to be in, one had been in Cayman only for 4 years, the other one had been in Cayman only for 8 years. In fact, the one who had been in Cayman for 4 years got on the list before the one who had been in Cayman for 8 years. And then we also know people who had been in Cayman for only 6 months, and even one person who was in jail at that time. Okay? Now, to me, the reason I bring that up is because one has to ask whether this new move to get PR holders to vote, whether it might wind up the same way. Is it possible that people have gone to the British government and said, well, we want the right to vote? And is it possible that the British government might put pressure on the government to have this done? Now, we don't know how that is going to be, but again, it leads it into an even broader issue. In Cayman, there's always the issue is people don't want independence, like political independence, like Jamaica and the other countries. People don't want independence, and I think that's fine. That was a decision made by the founding fathers of Cayman in '62 to say, well, we don't want to go independent, we want to stay with the UK, and that's fine. And I think there's something in its history and its culture which made that a logical decision, and I think it has worked out very well in the long term for Cayman. But you see, at the end of the day, there will always be the issue that the UK moves in a certain direction or wants to force Cayman to move in a certain direction, then Cayman does not want to move in that direction. The civil partnership bill, for example, is one area where that is demonstrated. So there's this thing which Cayman has to always navigate. Okay, we want autonomy, but within the UK. But there are some times when the UK says, well, yes, we can give you this amount of autonomy, but we can't give you the other autonomy because, for example, if you want to become an associated state, we can't give you that, then you have to get independence. And to me, this is an issue, again, which has to be discussed around this PR issue. People just have to understand that it's a choice which has been made. If the UK, for example, were to say it suits our interests, meaning the interests of the UK, for you to allow people in the Cayman Islands, PR holders, who are, a lot of them are from the UK, to vote. And if the UK pushes that, what is the decision of Cayman? Cayman doesn't have much in terms of options. And you know what will happen, like if you go to court, the chances are that probably the court might say, well, human rights demands that, yes, they must be given a certain amount of rights and so on and so forth. So to me, all I can say is that people have to watch out for this to try to find ways to fight it. Let me close on this. I have been disappointed with previous governments, how they have failed to fight for Cayman in terms of trying to say, give us an exception. Yes, you've got this gay thing and gay marriage in the UK and the ABC, but give us an exception to be able to advance not just political arguments, but also legal arguments. That's why I respect so much that Katina Anglin has decided to take this case further and further up, so that they can decide on it. I hope they didn't just take it so that they can re-emphasize the power of the governor. I hope that's not the case. But I think that there's need for government to fight more and more whenever the UK comes with a new measure, not to just say, oh, no, okay, the UK have refused. In Norway, way back, so every time sometimes they say, that's the last one. This one is really the last one. In Norway, way back, when oil went up, the price of oil in the 70s went up. The Norwegian government said, look, we are going to prohibit strikes in oil installations, and really restricted collective bargaining. And you know what happened? The unions there went to the International Labour Organization and said, look, the right to strike is a fundamental trade union right, and we are entitled to go on strike. And it was never expected that the Norwegian government would win that case. But they won it because they said, look, they made a case that in our economy, we've got about 35% of government revenue comes from oil. So we can't afford to have strikes in oil installations. And they were able to be given, as a result of that, an exception to say, in your case, you can limit the right to strike. So in Cayman, there's need to try and fight for exceptions, like with that kind of fortitude. At the moment, I don't think it's enough what is being done. That's why I recommend Katina Anglin for pushing this case to the Privy Council. I think it will be a difficult case for her to win, but we do not know what it's going to be. But just the idea of her being able to push together with the people supporting her, I think that is great. Let me just leave it there. Thanks for your time. I hope we can catch up in due course.
I look forward very much to that as well, and thank you always for sharing. And as we get closer to the headline news, I think we might be able to take another call, but let's just look across the table and find out if that's possible. If not, we do it later. My directions, we could take a call, we go into the news. We weigh it up, we do it round. All right, we're going to take the news break. We invite you to share your thoughts with us. And a number to call, 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
The sale you've been waiting for is here. Brand Source Home Gallery's custom closet and kitchen cabinet sale is now through September 30th. Save 20% on closets, pantries, Murphy beds, wall units, media centers, and that long overdue kitchen cabinet makeover. Our designers will create your dream closet or kitchen. Choose from our in-stock selection or special order and have installed before December. Shop now and save 20% with Brand Source Home Gallery's custom closet and kitchen cabinet sale. Hurry, sale ends September 30th. Visit us at 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, or call 623-5000.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments 23rd September to the 28th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com. That's drportercayman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
Yesterday,
Today.
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Sollins. Hazard Management Cayman Islands wishes to inform the public of a recent WhatsApp scam that has impacted an HMCI WhatsApp group chat. This scam resulted in members of the HMCI WhatsApp group being contacted on the pretext of joining a fake Zoom call or being called by an unknown person. HMCI's prompt detection of the scam has allowed the department to take swift actions to mitigate any further risks. In international news, radio waves from Elon Musk's growing network of satellites are blocking scientists' ability to peer into the universe, according to researchers in the Netherlands. The new generation of Starlink satellites, which provide fast internet around the world, are interfering more with radio telescopes than earlier versions, they say. The thousands of orbiting satellites are blinding radio telescopes and may be hindering astronomical research, according to Netherlands Institute for Radio Astronomy. SpaceX, which owns Starlink, has not replied to a request from BBC News for comment. The tobacco giant that makes Marlboro cigarettes has sold a UK inhaler company for a knockdown price due to what it calls an unwarranted backlash. Philip Morris International has offloaded Vectura Group for £150 million just 3 years after buying it in a deal worth more than £1 billion. PMI's decision to buy Vectura, which makes inhalers to treat lung conditions such as asthma, was criticized as being hypocritical. However, PMI defended the move as part of its strategy to move away from cigarettes and towards smoke-free businesses like vaping. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Sollins.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority would like to thank you, the Cayman community, for voting us the Best of Cayman Islands 2024 in 13 medical categories. As the largest and longest healthcare provider in the Cayman Islands, we have been caring for you for many generations, helping the people of our islands live longer, healthier, and happier lives. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky or call 949-8600.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Holroy Eric Lorenzo Walton, born on August 13, 1936 in Bogasan, Cayman, was not only an avid artist and seaman, affectionately named Roy. He also made significant impacts in the construction industry, founding H&A Construction in 1972 and working on landmark projects. He was also a passionate educator, hosting free art classes for children and fostering creativity through an annual art competition at Spot Bay Primary School. Roy and his wife Anne were dedicated to preserving the heritage of the Sister Islands, designing the lighthouse statue at the Cayman Brac and Little Cayman's Seamen's Center. Roy's efforts in collecting and displaying seafaring history ensured that the stories of Caymanian seafarers would be passed down to future generations. His life's work continues to resonate with the community and beyond.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And for the next 25 or so minutes, the excellent company Miss Catherine Tyson-Sewell as we tell you about the 2024 Miss Global International. Hey, welcome, and good to see you. How was everything?
Good. Everything is great. Very busy, but yeah, pushing on. I think everybody in Cayman is busy.
Well, it's probably the school starting back. Christmas is coming, but a lot of things are, as they say, on the agenda, and I know that you've got some important dates as we get closer to your, international pageant.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I wanted to say, I guess it's been a while since I've spoken on air with you, as well as just generally. I'm doing a lot of social media stuff and doing a lot of in-person stuff. But this is actually the first international pageant that will ever happen in the Cayman Islands. So a lot of people are asking how many girls are going to be from Cayman in it? And I'm saying one. So it's an international pageant. So we have over 26 delegates at this point, and 24 of them will be coming to Cayman. So only 2 are in Cayman, which is Miss Global International Cayman Islands 2024 and Miss Global International Philippines, which I'm the national director for both of them. So they're both my franchises. And the Philippines mainly because we have such a large Philippines community in Cayman. So just two of our girls, one that will hold a Miss Global International Cayman flag and one that will hold the Philippines flag. But we have 24 others that will be competing. So we have Argentina, we have Cuba, We have Chile that's coming in. We have Ghana, Guyana, Hungary. We have Jamaica. We have Latvia. We have Luxembourg. We have Kenya, Mexico, Nepal, Nigeria, Peru, and of course I said Philippines, Poland. Miss Poland will be here. We also have India that will be here. We have Miss San Andres. And for the Colombian community, they're supporting her, but some of them are very clear San Andres is its own island, so I'm not getting into that. Serbia will be here. And funny enough, Serbia actually lives in Italy, so she's representing both. And we have South Africa, Trinidad and Tobago, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Venezuela.
And with these, delegates, I like how you use, they're coming in. They're going to bring their entourage. I mean,
they are.
So there are other people who are joining them.
They're all coming with their national directors, and some are coming with their family and friends. Some are coming with a whole delegation, and it's all going down. It's going down. The pageant itself is on Sunday, October the 13th at 7 p.m. It's at Hotel Indigo. But there's so many other things happening because October 7th, they arrive on island. So there's lots of opportunities to sight them, to meet them, to take photos. And if you're from any of those countries, obviously we want you to come out and, wave your flag. Wave your flag, right? And if you're not, and we'll wave your country flag, but wave Cayman's flag as well. And so it's very exciting. Also, you can go to the website, mgicayman.com. Very simple. So it's Miss Global International, mgicayman.com, and just see what's there. If you wanted the staycation, they got some great rates at the Indigo for that weekend. I think it's like $249, $250, something like that, which is awesome. It's a beautiful establishment, as well as you can get your early bird tickets if you go to the website, or you can always go to eventpro.ky. We have early bird tickets. We're extending early bird tickets. We're going to have a VIP section. So if you're interested in treating your staff early for Christmas and get a beautiful table of 10, and with that, you get food, you get drinks as a swag bag, as well as you get to be the sponsor of an award. So we have lots of awards like best smile, best community service, best social impact, things like that. Because we really have stretched it out. We want to be able to give people that are coming a long way the opportunity to win something. But it's going to be very exciting. We're going to crown Miss 2024, Miss Global International. Last year, if you all will remember, I went to Montego Bay with Millie Almager, who had actually been in the Miss Universe pageant a couple of weeks before, so we had 2 weeks to prepare her. She went to Montego Bay and came in top 10, as well as People's Choice. She won Miss People's Choice. She was amazing. She was a lovely representative for us, and I was very proud of that. And that was when I began my relationship with the Miss Global International organization. So I'm very excited just about everything that this represents. It's a tourism product, but it's also an empowerment product. And all of these young ladies will be here. They will have a talent that they will do, as well as those talents come from their country. So it's quite interesting how they do that. Like last year, Mexico, she brought this big dress, very heavy, and she was twirling that on the stage. So it was like all of their talents were coming from their country, and so that was beautiful to see because it's very cultural. And they also have their national costume that they're traveling with. I spoke with Peru earlier this morning. She says, am I going to have trouble coming through immigration with my feathers? And my costume designer wants to know. I said, no, you'll be fine. So they are getting ready. And some of these young ladies, they have been in, one of them was in 19 pageants.
Wow.
One has won 12 titles. So they're coming. They were so excited about coming to Cayman. And like I said, there's lots of other things happening. We're going to have the presentation of the delegates on October the 8th at the Pom Pom Rooftop Restaurant at the Hotel Indigo. If you've not been there, it's something to see. It's a little scary, but it's really nice. Have you been there? Listen, first rooftop bar. Then there's a talent showcase on October 10th. We're partnering with the Laughter Lounge, so if you like those shows, I love them. Very funny, and we're gonna keep it family oriented, and we're gonna bring in our talents. Our young ladies will do their talents that night. Then we have the Cayman Cultural Day, which is very exciting. The Turtle Center has partnered with us, has offered to host this for us. So they're hosting a whole Cayman Cultural Day at the Cayman Turtle Center for all the, every resident. Bring your kids. There'll be cultural stuff, arts and crafts, music, just a beautiful time at the Cayman Turtle Center on the Saturday before the pageant. And then it all goes down on the grand coronation on October 13th. And then there's going to be an after party. And the after party is going to be very nice too. So there's lots of things. I got to rest for this week.
You better get your cornmeal with porridge and your coconut milk.
Trust me.
Yes,
because they're young.
Well, it seems, as you were sharing an opportunity, there is the cultural aspect, there's the tourism component, and then there's the wider community. Now, Forum is Global International, for those who know. Many have a platform, different organizations, even sporting organization adopt something, support, promote something. What is the, that platform, that thing that drives Miss Global International?
Well, like I said, it's a tourism product as well. It's bringing the world together through tourism and the diversity of it. We've chosen to support the senior citizens this year, because I really always believe that we come from one thing and we end up one thing. As once a man, twice a child, and I believe that community is often overlooked. So especially since it's going to be the month of the older persons in October, the young ladies are really about that. And, we're going to even make some appearances. They have a couple of things planned. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag for what they have planned, because they're probably going to come in and talk with you. And the girls are going to be there with them and, doing different things, different activities. I think they have a gala that in October, and they also have a couple of game nights and stuff like that. So the girls are going to be there, and we're gonna donate something to Meals on Wheels. So like part proceeds will go to Meals on Wheels. So I just love that demographic, and what I love about it is how excited they are about young people. To see them, to see that that new life, and senior citizens, oh my goodness, like especially Caymanians, they love people from other countries too. I guess it's our seafaring background, because they're older now. They love to talk about other countries, and they know so much about some countries. You would be surprised what they know about Chile or Peru, and they'll talk to them, and it's beautiful. So I'm very excited about that, as well as I'm excited about the young people learning from our elders.
Indeed.
Yes.
And for those who want the tickets, as you shared, whether it's a corporate entity for their employees or, entertaining their clients or even families and friends, tables of 10?
Yes, tables of 10. And that's, you can go to mgicayman.com and click on for the tickets. But if you're interested in sponsoring that award or getting a VIP table, or coming on as a sponsor, if you're interested. I have people reaching out to me. So you can always call me at 939-2223. So that's 939-2223. And or go to MGI Cayman and just leave your name there. You can also find us on social media. So go to the Miss Global International Instagram page. You'll start watching the girls' journey. You like and share. You can also go on Facebook, Miss Global International. You can also go to Miss Global International Cayman Islands, Miss Global International Philippines, or Real Catherine Tyson or Catherine Tyson. And just people find us. But it would be great for people to start supporting the journey.
Right. And for the regular ticket, how much? You can get it from where you share, but what are the costs? That's all.
So right now, like I said, I'm if you call me, I'm going to extend the early bird price no matter what, because I'm like that. And then also all queens, all of our past queens, and queens now that are with the pageants and stuff, even the young queens, we're 50% off.
Yeah.
We want them there. We're going to have a section for them. Right now, regular admission is $100, and that's early bird. We have for premium tickets is $125, and for VIP is $150 now. But if you wait until after, it's going to go up. So, like I said, also for government employees, I've also extended the early bird prices, because I know you guys get paid early and you'll be broke early.
See, everybody knows that.
Because you get paid early, that everybody's like, oh, they get paid early. No, they spend their money early.
Yeah, we get paid weekly, is what I thought you meant. You know?
No, you don't, right?
Some of us get paid weekly.
No, you don't.
Very weekly.
You're on salary. But once a month, a lot of people struggle with that. They say, I love once a month pay. Yeah, I do. I get my stuff sorted out one time and done.
But even the monthly salary is still weekly, you know?
Yeah, in week. W-E-A-K.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
You're too funny.
Well, it's about laughter, and so we're making it. And what I like is that you shared with us increasingly when you first announced it, and then just going back through the different countries that could be represented. You know,
right.
Use the word delegates. They're coming in. We get to see them. You're gonna extend the invitation to all the pageants, you know, and their representatives coming in. It gives people a perspective. It gives them a mindset, but also gives them something to sort of, you know, not just showcase, but benchmark.
It's community, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very interested in the community aspect of it. I'm very interested in young people's growth, right? So I think that every single young woman who enters a pageant or who decides to do something like this, it should be about what she's going to get from it for herself, not a prize, not a crown. You already wear a crown. So how do you grow from it? Because when you look at the history of pageantry, it's been around a long time. But when you look at it, not necessarily the one who won the crown is who is a mover and shaker in our society. A lot of people have been in pageants they didn't even place, and they're amazing forces in society, because that speaks to who people are as individuals. So every single individual that enters a pageant, their value is there, and they should know that. They should walk away feeling beautiful and amazing, and valued, and know that their place in this world is required. Their place in this world is solid, and their contribution is needed. And so that, to me, is what it's really about. So when I have all these young ladies coming from all over the country, they're all queens. They're all in their own right. They're powerhouses. And how do we just continue to celebrate that?
And I think it gives others an opportunity to be not only inspired by what they see, but be reminded that any effort, that you're consistent, that you're genuine, you can benefit, not as only as you shared, about inspiring others, but you yourself seeing the reward and recognition in your own personal growth, development, confidence, poise, and to watch many of these just here on the local stage come in for the first discussion, as you brought them through in the past, and subsequent discussions, the confidence that they develop.
Absolutely.
It's important. So for us, we reach out to you if we want to sponsor, if we want to get tickets for the evening, to be a part of any of the other activities.
Yep, for sure.
I don't know, man. It's, we've watched from the financial services sector, whether it's the offshore finance or the mutual funds or the captives, they have their forums and conferences here. You're bringing in another component to the tourism element with the international pageant.
Absolutely. And the arts and culture part of it and the heritage is important as well, because when you see all these countries and they're showcasing their cultural costumes or their cultural practices and traditions when they're doing their talents, it's amazing. It's like you got a chance to visit Peru. You got a chance to visit Mexico. That's what I love about it. And also, I want to say to the general public, if you have ever thought that you'd like to go to a Miss World pageant to support your Cayman queen, or Miss Universe, which, Miss Universe, we just crowned Reagan Ruddy. Congratulations to Reagan. She was amazing, as well as all the other ladies that were on that stage.
Indeed, yes.
She'll be going to Miss Universe, as well as Miss World will be crowned. Miss World came out. She'll be going to Miss World. If you've ever wanted to go to something like that, because it's a big undertaking. I went to Thailand to support my daughter in 2018. The trip, I had about 4 planes, the goodness, I don't know if it was 24 hours of just it was maybe more. If you've ever wanted to do that, but because of all the logistics you couldn't, then you could come to this. You should come to this. This would be an example of an international experience that you didn't leave home to experience. Because when you take those trips abroad, you have to get your hotel, you have to get your ticket, your flight, you have to get your spending money, you have to get a ticket to those things are like $300-$400. I remember getting my ticket to Miss Universe. So if you ever thought that you'd like to do that because you're watching it, come to this pageant. It is going to be amazing. Like, do yourself that favor and come out and support these amazing young women that are excited about the Cayman Islands. They cannot wait. I'm leading a group of national directors and a group of contestants, and I'm talking to 50 people a day sometimes, and they can't wait to come to Cayman. They can't wait to put their feet in the beautiful crystal waters and the white sand. I hope they can have time because we got a whole schedule for them.
Oh, just thinking of what you shared. I was counting back from the pageant night, as you called it, the grand coronation and after party, and then working back until their arrival. There's a lot of activities.
It's a lot. Trust me, they have rehearsals almost every night. So they're not going to get too much chance to go on the beach. But they don't know. Shh, don't tell them.
Maybe what we do, we extend the stay for after.
That would be beautiful. We're going to try to give them some time. They have photo shoots, and they also. I have you guys down, so at some point you and I have to figure out when I can bring my band of babies, my band of girls in here.
Maybe just give you the show to go fishing.
I think you just need to clear the calendar because it's a lot of them.
So what you do, you can buy the sponsorship or sales teams that interact with you.
You guys are my sponsors. So,
I can go fish.
So yeah, you guys are my sponsors. So and I'm excited, and I also have school visits down for them because I'm gonna utilize them while they're here. I'm gonna utilize the opportunity for our young people to see, young people that are progressive and that are movers and shakers, and they're coming this far, right? They're coming this far from their own country. Right. And to me, that's breathing life into someone who doesn't think that they can travel. Like you can go to Zimbabwe. you can go to Kenya. Kenya's here, Nigeria is here. South America is here. Argentina. So all the places you ever thought that you wanted to go, like, yeah, why not? I know we have a lot of South Africans in our community. Miss South Africa's going to be here. Ghana's going to be here. We have the UK is going to be here. Trinidad definitely is going to be here. Venezuela, Poland. We have all of these countries that are coming. So if you're from these countries, come out and support your delegate. Hungary's going to be here as well. And Jamaica. Jamaica will be here. So come on and support Miss Jamaica as well.
and as you shared, today, as I looked at the calendar, is the 18th.
It's the 13th.
Right, no, today on the calendar. Today,
say it right
today
now.
Is
I missed
18th,
it. It is the 18th.
Right?
I have less than a month.
Yeah, and your grand coronation is October the
13th. Is less than a month.
Right, so as my mama says, 2 looks and a promise.
It's creeping up. It's a, what is it? Less than 3 weeks sleeps. Because every night that I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, I say, what are you doing? What is happening? So yeah, very exciting. And come out and support Miss Cayman Islands, Miss Global International Cayman Islands. Come out and support her, and the Philippine community. Come out and support Miss Global International Philippines.
Catherine Tyson Sewell, and we're talking about the 2024 Miss Global International pageant. It's going to take place, you say, at the what's the new hotel?
Indigo.
That's the newest one right by the beach there, right?
It is. It's like a baby sister or baby brother of Kimpton.
Maybe it's non-binary. I don't know.
I think they're family.
Yeah, it's a building. It's right there where the beach was.
Yes. It has infinity pools.
I haven't been,
I didn't know it was finished. I was there. I was like, this is amazing. Why are we just driving past these places? Caymanians, stop. Pull into the parking lot and go walk
Sometimes
around.
you got to feel invited, right?
Invite yourself.
Sometimes you open the door for yourself, right?
Look at your passport.
We got our elections coming up.
Oh gosh. Okay, that's another show.
Yep. So, but the other events that you referenced from the Cayman comedy show,
yes,
the cultural day at the Turtle Center, and the public is invited. Do we need to get sort of tickets for
you
that?
Probably do. Yeah. I mean, some of the. Like if you sponsors, they are going to get tickets to all of these events and stuff. So those are covered. So if you thought, oh, I'd like to sponsor something, and you purchase a sponsorship package, you're invited to all these things. Some of the tickets will let you into Cayman Cultural Day at the Cayman Turtle Center. Everyone's invited. So I think that's just a cost for how much ever it is to go into the Turtle Center, maybe $12 or $15. I'm not sure. And the talent showcase and the Laugh Cayman, that's a separate ticket. So
that's Rod and his team there?
That's Rod and his team.
Yeah, good guys. Man.
Yes,
yeah.
And Damon Williams is going to be there. And I don't know if you ever met Damon. Damon is hilarious. So I requested him specifically because he's such a great MC as well. And we're going to have some celebrity judges. We're going to have some, my MCs are from the U.S. They're an amazing team, husband and wife. It's going to be amazing. Rico Rolando we're praying. We've spoken to him. So we just, he's going to be performing, and he's amazing.
Rico's good, man.
Yes. So we, and we have Ika and her team that's going to be, choreographing the opening number. So we have lots and lots and lots of local stuff because we want to be showcasing our culture, our Cayman culture. We are the host to our guests, and we want to show them what Cayman. This is Cayman.
Yeah.
This is Cayman. Yeah.
I like it, and I'm looking forward to you telling us when you need to come on. And our people telling me when it is.
I'm going to text you. Dwayne, what about Monday?
And what do I do? Yes, Mom.
You concede. Thank you.
You see, come well train you. A woman asks, you acquiesce.
Yes. No, thank you. And I appreciate that.
No, always. and it's good to see this other aspect of our tourism product. It's a recognition of what we have and what we can do. And as you shared, it is an invitation for the country, for an international pageant. But I like your willingness to include all of the other pageants, and their participants.
Absolutely.
Especially young ones, so they can see what.
Yes.
It's
one exciting. Right. Yeah, for sure. And like you said, when you think about it, it is, it is our product. It is our island. So we're gonna be together.
Yes.
Unity is very, very important.
Indeed.
Yeah. And now we look at, we're gonna have over 26 countries' eyes on us. I'm excited about that. I believe that is the beginning of great things on the pageant circuit. That's my kind of my last word on that is I believe that we are kicking down a door, and we're saying Cayman is here, and Cayman is viable, and so we're not just a place that people mention in the movies for money laundering. But we're because you go to any movie, you're going to hear it, right? That's not what Cayman is. So Cayman is really a gem in the Caribbean, and this is going to be a great opportunity to showcase that, and I'm excited about that.
Well, we have a wonderful ambassador in you, and a strong delegator, but also organizer. Looking forward to other discussions as we talk about, in this instance, the Miss Global International. So it's October 13th, the Grand Coronation.
Grand Coronation, but they start coming in October 7th.
7th, all right. That's a Monday, isn't it?
So you'll see the buses all over the place. Yeah. Yes, it's a Monday. Yeah, okay. So we start on Monday and they leave on Monday.
Okay. In and enjoy, be safe, and employ. Hey, thanks very much, Mr. Tyson.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Always. Well, let's pause and take that break. And when we come back, if she gets back to work, I stay here and enjoy your company. So join me.
I get back to
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with the creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britgay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
20 years after Hurricane Ivan, our nation has shown incredible resilience, rebuilt homes, restored schools, and strengthened our communities through unity.
We're deeply grateful for the vital support from our global neighbors. Together, we've rebuilt and laid the foundation for a stronger future.
Now, we must embrace a culture of readiness, looking out for one another and preparing for the future. With the continued support of our international allies, we'll ensure our nation remains strong. 20 years after Hurricane Ivan, we are survivors, a thriving, resilient community. Together, we will continue to grow, to support one another, and to ensure that the lessons learned are never forgotten.
For more information on hurricane preparedness and community resilience, visit caymanprepared.ky.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you for joining us. 949-8037. Let's go straight to the phones. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yes, darling. I'm going to work. I'm getting ready to go to work now, so I got some time to talk. You got some time to talk?
We not only have time to talk, we also have time and attention to listen.
All right, cool. I know I gave you some stuff there, like some answers, so, but we just have to wait and see. Thank God today is Wednesday. We've got 2 more days to see if anybody got a call in regards to what they have done for this country. But Sterling, you all was talking the other day in regards to that new park that the break ground fell down in
Central. Yeah, Central Scotland.
Yeah, Central. I didn't listen all the way, but I got a little bit of the conversation off and on. $3 million was mentioned. Do you recall what that $3 million was mentioned in regards of the day on the radio having the conversation about that park? Can you tell me if it was anything pertaining to the park or that was something else?
Yeah, it was And so that I don't, since we like to deal with numbers, I always wanted to get it accurate. We'll reach out to the tourism ministry and ask for a breakdown to date, and perhaps someone there listening can be very responsive, because we do know it was also shared by the Minister Brian on the shows when he was, and also at the groundbreaking that evening last Thursday, that the acquisition of the properties took place over a number of different administrations. So it's been a project that has been in the works for a number of years. So maybe they can give us a breakdown of, let me see, this is what you're asking for. How much has been spent so far, where it's been spent on property, architecture and other professional fees, site works, what's the contract for the building, what that's going to look like. A proper accounting of public funds.
Yeah, I just know I heard something about $3 million. I'm not sure what it was all about, so I don't want to take this in the wrong concept. I'm just trying to figure out what the $3 million was mentioned about.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I was in and out and I didn't get all the full conversation. And I heard something about some certain tree that I think he wants to bring onto the grounds there.
Yeah.
And I had a cousin who went to the groundbreaking, and from the look of the plans, everything looks very beautiful. But Sterling, as a Caymanian, and we're told every day that we're losing our heritage and we're losing our history, and God knows what else we're losing. So I'm going to throw this out there. And I know there'll be a lot of hiccups about it. It's a park. It's where people are going to go and visit. And I think, knowing that we had so many different fruit trees in this island that have been destroyed by construction work, and some of them have not even been relocated elsewhere and so forth. So I'm just saying that we can put palm trees and whatever other trees that we want to put there, but if that park going to represent the people of this island, and how many more parks that we may get built in this island, I don't know. So I was saying to myself, why is it that we're going to go and open such a beautiful park and we don't have something eatable on that beautiful park that people are going to go and sit and enjoy?
Well, it's an interesting, and that has been something that I know from what they shared was discussed at the quote-unquote their committee level. The Honourable Minister did speak to it on the show a couple of times. He was here, back to back. And from what generally he said, but others have, the reluctance to put any kind of fruit-bearing tree stems from, one, the added perception of increased maintenance and the cost. Two, the fruits themselves may attract other animals and or people that could lead to now.
No. That is all out of the window.
I hear you.
This is just my concept. I understood exactly what you just said. But the fact of the matter is, it is a park for everyone to enjoy, whoever may want to go there from the rest of the island or who's in the area, lives in the area. Is the park going to be closed after certain hours? And government going to maintain the grounds. So if government going to maintain the grounds, what is so wrong with this fruit tree? I'm going to give a couple that I had in mind. Imagine our great trees that has been destroyed.
The cocoa plums.
7 Mile Beach and the cocoa plums that has been destroyed. It would be a beauty to see one or two of those trees on that ground there.
Yeah.
It would be a beauty to see a little bit of mangrove that takes forever to grow.
Yeah.
To say that this represents the Cayman Islands. We can take the kids there on a school trip and represent and tell them what these trees are all about and how they are eatable and so forth and so forth, because we got a lot of children that come into Cayman knows nothing about Cayman history or heritage or anything in that category. And the few Caymaners that we got left, some of them don't have no interest.
Right.
They're not even learning our history in school. They're learning the rest of the world history.
Well, not even the rest of the world sometimes, huh? And it's as you shared though, we hear this mantra, eat what you grow and grow what you eat. Now, if we could look at what has been done at Cricket Square, where near the restaurant and in the surrounding sort of green spaces, many of the trees that are planted there have, the edible fruits.
And they're being used in the restaurant every day if there's something on the tree.
But it also speaks to something else, because I'll give you as an example. For a number of years, and it spanned a number of, and I measure it by how many election cycles we've gone through. So it has spanned a number of those, where different communities and different individuals have suggested, well, in the roundabouts or in the roadsides and many of the sort of public lands, could we not plant some of these fruit trees? One objection is that there'll be people coming and stealing. Now, people might say, well, yeah, let's not do that. But think about it from a global perspective. If we have a society where we have that caliber of people, I gotta use a word, you tell me if it resonates with you or if it's recognizable. Fudders, right? I'm not gonna say riff-raff. If we got that kind of people who are here, whether they've been here, come here, and however long, that's not a society we want. We want where people are law-abiding and honest and decent. So you can not plant a fruit tree because you're fear that people will come steal.
That's ludicrous.
Mm-hmm.
That is ludicrous, because we know that we don't produce anything on this island. Anything in major, anything, just a couple fruit trees that we got. We don't manufacture anything here in Cayman. No more than a rum cake and a bottle of liquor and a 6-pack of beer. We need more than that. And I say we need to have more fruit trees throughout the island on various locations. If these trees are blooming certain things on them, the island people, the people in Island should be able to go and reap a basket of mangoes or 2 avocados or what the case may be.
Right. Well, to your point, we will initially send an email, perhaps to the chief officer, Borden, and ask, for their response in relation to the costs. I'm sure much of it is already public, given the design. Now, before we take the break, what else would you like to share?
I just want them to consider planting something native of this Cayman Island on that park.
Uh-huh.
Or if it can't be plant there, then that's how much we are value to this island. Nothing. Value nothing. And I want to leave it saying, I am asking Mr. Kirk Walton at that license department to take his foot off of the brakes and press the gas pedal and start making some things in this island move for the people. It is so many people out here getting damaged unnecessary, and we need some control. And we also need people, you see, when they go get their driver's license, I forget what the word was to use this morning. I use the word mental. They should, I forget what the word was to use, but anyhow, we need a license form, a mental check. You should have a mental check before you come to get a driver's license, because we got a lot of people out here who is losing it and picking it on people and killing people innocently. And I got my family out here, my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Lord knows. They better take me down to their heart if they want to.
I hear you, Mom. I hear you. But you take care, you be safe, okay?
Yes.
All right.
You have a great one.
You too. Thank you. All right. Let's pause, take a short break. Return with us when we come back and share your thoughts. Stay tuned.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Marketers, creatives, and visionaries, are you ready to be inspired? Join SIMPA's 11th Annual Marketing Conference, The Connect Experience, under the theme Icons and Innovators, October 11th and 12th at Hotel Indigo. Discover the latest trends in marketing innovation, sharpen your skills in hands-on workshops, and connect with industry leaders who are changing the game. Plus, celebrate the best of Cayman's marketing and creative professionals at SIMPA's Awards Gala, honoring the icons and innovators in the field. Don't miss out. Secure your tickets online at simpa.ky/events.
Radio Cayman, your #1 community station, would like to remind you that we are in the hurricane season, and in order to survive a hurricane, you need to be prepared. If officials' sources say a hurricane is imminent, please board up or shutter up windows in your home or place of business. Remember to use good lumber, as makeshift boarding may actually cause more damage. Also put strong bracing on outside doors so that they are not blown off or blown in.
This hurricane advice was brought to you by Radio Cayman, your caring community radio station.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. It is open line 949-37 949-6990. I invite you to call and share your thoughts with us. And just quickly went to check on something that was sure had come across my desk, and hopefully there'll be something I can share with our listeners. But to the last caller, we will inquire with the tourism ministry in relation to the Central Scranton Park. It promises to be a wonderful, wonderful place for the country, and in particular the community and the surrounding area. Is there a call, my friend? And as she was sharing, the last caller that is, in relation to what could and should be planted, we know the discussion when the Honorable Tourism Minister was on last. He was saying, that there is much, within the community about the tamarind tree that was there. And for some, as a child, you were not necessarily, as the information was relayed again that day at the opening, you were not allowed to sort of stop and mingle because you were a child, and that was the space where the adults were. But much activity took place, from the occasional dispute that was perhaps settled a little bit more physically, but at the end of the day, everyone got back and had their continued revelry, as it were. And perhaps the tamarind tree was symbolic, as Dr. Steve McField reminds us, of a space where the community, could have engage in sometimes very, very enlightened conversations. Now, the Honorable Minister says that kapok, I think was the tree he called it, similar to the one near the glass house, would be the one that's going to be used as a symbolic tree and planted on their premises. Now, the thing I was looking for was a comment from an individual, and I wanted to read it the way it was sent. That would say it was great, acknowledging the importance of people who either visit or work in the government admin building, but even those in the surrounding areas who may want to walk across the car park, there'll be an access from the government admin building through the gate and into the park. But then, as the Honourable Minister shared, it's going to be a controlled access. So, if you were there that evening, he made a quite of a jovial approach when he was talking about the fob, using to access the gate. The question that this individual shared, and I must say after listening to the comment, wondered the same thing. Why? Why do you have to have a fob access? If it's an access to a public park, you just move back and forth. Will there be a control entry at the other end of the park or the other access points? If, for whatever reason, on that particular site coming from the government admin parking lot, and you want to close access at a certain time, well, fair enough, but just put a padlock or electronic gate. But when it's open, it's open. The individual referenced two things. This is what I want to look at and how it was written, and questioning, well, is there reasoning? And if it isn't, maybe now this provides justification, but nonetheless, I share what he shared for that control access is, well, we want to know which civil servant and individual enters and exits, through that gate. So as those electronic access fobs do just that. Presumably they can be programmed to not only indicate, when you can access something, but restrict when you can, but also who access. So you move even within your building from floor to floor and from office section. Each time you swipe that fob, that electronic access card, it records, the time and who. Now, the other thing that he's referenced was, well, is it a question of liability? And if that's the case, then he says, well, if you look behind the immigration building, commercial activity from the car washing and the like that takes place there, his view, and I thought, and his notation, it referenced particular legislation that in order to conduct business on, public property, on government-owned lands, you need to have insurance. It's a matter of, liability. Do those operators on those lands have that liability insurance? So if the government is saying to control access to the park from and across the government parking lot in order to mitigate any potential claim for liability, then this access needs to be there. Well, could that be achieved ordinarily? Now, his view, which made the argument somewhat bogged in legalese, is that on one hand it's a public park, public access over public lands. Does it need to have a control access? Well, I read it once and a couple of times, and I thought, well, each time it's as clear as it is confusing. 8949-8037, 949-6990. You can WhatsApp call 925-32621. You can also call us toll free at 1-800-534-8255 and share your thoughts with us. It is open line. One of our listeners says, the sweet tamarind tree was a beautiful idea that Mr. Ryan, wants to put in the park. And that's a commendation from Alejandro. Maybe the lady who called, her recommendation that we consider strongly putting the edible plants. Perhaps there can be a space as part of, the project by some of the schools. The Georgetown Primary School isn't, or as it now, the Marie Martin Primary School isn't that far away. As part of a community project with the school, maybe you can do a garden that rotates out. Sometimes it's the flowering ornamentals, but preferably it may be peppers and, other herbs and the like that we use, one to teach, but one to perhaps encourage the children into, the importance of not only knowing the source of our food, but the importance of it. Something to consider. Let's talk about other things as we go into the news break. Someone had asked if we could comment and encourage more discussion on two things: the increase in crime, and not just the frequency of it, but the seriousness and viciousness of some of the criminal activities that are taking place. And then could we revisit the idea that allegedly, and one of our callers earlier alluded to it, he said directly, there just seems to be growing discussion that PR holders come next election will be, able to vote. Is that something that should have taken place long ago? Is it something that should not? And then in that vein, the individual shared, well, if we have people getting PR honor status, and then as that is granted, they're then knocking on, government services for funding, for school, for food, for housing, whether it's through the NAU and the Department of Financial Services. Would you want to talk about that? Well, we were asked to put it on the table. It is there now. And as we go into the news, you ask yourselves the question: do we ignore it, or do we try to address it? Do we do so by acknowledging it, or do we pray that it just goes away because we close our eyes? Here's the number to call: 949-8037, 949-6990. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
We are Radio Cayman,
covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm April Cummings. Officers have arrested a 25-year-old West Bay man following an operation in West Bay conducted under Section 231 of the Cayman Islands Penal Code. The man was arrested on suspicion of possession of an imitation firearm with intent, being a member of a criminal gang, and for making threats to kill in an unrelated matter. Police say two other men, a 29-year-old and a 41-year-old from West Bay, have subsequently been arrested on suspicion of possession of an imitation firearm with intent and being a member of a gang. The 49-year-old also was arrested on suspicion of possession of ganja. The operation and arrest stem from a video that was released online in late August showing three men speaking to an interviewer about their participation in gang activity while displaying firearms. In international headlines, walkie-talkies, solar equipment, and other devices exploded suddenly Wednesday at the site of a funeral for three Hezbollah members and a child killed by exploding pagers the day before. This according to Associated Journalist Press at the scene. Lebanon's health ministry says at least 9 people were killed and 300 wounded. Hezbollah and the Lebanese government are blaming Israel for Tuesday's attack. Wall Street's rising near its records today after the Federal Reserve kicked off its efforts to prevent a recession with a bigger-than-usual cut to interest rates. The S&P 500 was 0.5% higher in afternoon trading and at the edge of its all-time closing high that was set in July. The Dow Jones average up 175 points, or 0.4%, and on track to top its record set on Monday. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. It is open line, 949-837, 949-6990. Or you can WhatsApp call. You can send a voice note or a text on the WhatsApp, 925-32621. And let's hear from you. Of course, Flo provides a toll-free number, and we're told it's open to all on Sunday. It's at 1-800-534-TALK, 1-800-534-8255. We'll go to the phone and say welcome. Thanks for calling.
Well, good morning again. Good afternoon again, Dwayne. It's me.
Hey, listen, bienvenido.
Well, it's good to come on again. I thought I should keep you company. See, sometimes a lot of times you've got good company there, especially the ladies. But today you don't. You only had one, you know.
Yeah, hey, some days are diamonds, right, and some days are stones. What I say, sometimes the hard times won't leave me alone.
Oh, can we sing to that?
You remember that song, huh?
Yes, I do. Now, Dwayne, another subject matter, major subject matter. Judicial and legal services in the Cayman Islands. Recently, you know, there was a case before the Court of Appeal of Hill against the government.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can talk about it because I want to talk about the Grand Court case, which finished. She's now appealing it, and it went to the Court of Appeal. I really think that people should pay attention to that case because whichever way that the court decides, it is going to be precedent-setting, and the Court of Appeal has already said that. Now, the first thing I want to emphasize is how rare it is what the Court of Appeal did. When the matter came up before the Court of Appeal, Sandra Hill was appealing it. She went there with her own arguments. She was self-represented. And you can imagine that the Court of Appeal took the initiative to say that the arguments that you've raised are very important constitutional arguments. We want you to get a specialized lawyer who can argue this case for you. And they went to the extent of asking, I understand, the Director of Legal Aid to come into court and so that they could make sure that she would get legal aid. Now, what I hear is I understand she did get legal aid, but don't quote me. But I did get it from a reliable source that actually she did get legal aid, which would be very good. The importance of that case is that she was being prosecuted for saying something about somebody. I won't mention names.
Right.
Saying something about somebody and put it in a podcast. And that person was unhappy. That person could have sued in a civil court, but didn't sue. The government decided to take up the matter and say, we'll prosecute you for abuse of a telecommunication device.
Right.
They didn't say that what you are saying is not true. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because she was saying that if they want to say it's not true, I've got witnesses who can support, what I'm broadcasting. But they said you have just abused the telecommunication device to harass somebody. Now, remember, this was a podcast. It was not sort of like sending messages to somebody's private email or anything like that.
Right.
And the court, of course, say that, look, if you are going to say that something which is true can also be a criminal offense, that's a problem. You know, when I read that case, and I read it's about 13, 14 pages long. I mean, I had so many problems myself to say, okay, if you are going to say there are certain truths which are lawful and others that are not, then you need to give me better guidance as to which kinds of truths are fine and which kinds of truths are not fine.
Right.
Okay, isn't Cayman a Christian nation? Cayman is a Christian nation, and the Bible says that the truth shall make you free.
Right.
If the truth will wind up in the end having you incarcerated, then that's a problem. So I think people should really watch that.
Right.
To look at that case when it comes up. I understand it will be coming next year.
Yeah. And I would like to ask you, just for clarity, from the legal perspective, in Cayman, is defamation a criminal offense?
I think it is, because in that same case, they did talk about how there is still the offense of criminal defamation in the Cayman Islands. Yeah, in that very case, they did talk about that.
Right. And the reason, I'm appreciate you referencing that, and since it's in the public domain, as you said, the Court of Appeals ruling will be precedent setting no matter what it decides. And again, in defamation, we understand there's two aspects. So the libel, which is the written, and then the slander, which is the spoken, right?
Yes.
So with legislation like that tending to be written, sometimes centuries and certainly decades before the introduction of the modern technology, the podcast, the televisions and the like, how does that come into play to your knowledge when it comes to something that is broadcast with both video and audio, like a podcast, like a television commentator saying something?
Yes, you see, okay.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, there's a little bit of a difference of the law between the UK and the US. In the US, the Supreme Court has said, look, particularly when you are a person who is in public life, there are going to be all kinds of allegations against you. The mere fact that it is not true does not give you a right to successfully sue the person who published it. Okay, you can refute it, unless the person acted maliciously, knowing very well it is false. They went out there and they published it, and then it's actionable. But in the UK, it just needs to be false. That's all. It just needs to be false, and that's where the big difference is. But I believe that the UK too may well move slowly towards the American position. That's my suspicion. But at the moment, that's a difference of laws.
Which is sort of under their constitutional right to freedom of speech and expression in the U.S.
Yeah, because because you see, in the U.S. they don't have just freedom of speech and expression, but they also have freedom of the press, which is slightly something more than they have in the UK, where they just have freedom of speech. But in the US, they have also freedom of the press, which is just makes it more difficult for you to sue for defamation.
Right. And although for some this may seem like an academic discussion, and I want to come back to the idea that we're using an electronic device in this case, but two things from what you shared, if I may ask, again, maybe for my own edification. But given that you have the press as a registered, identified sort of entity, and today's world with everybody with some device in their hand and a camera and a microphone, quote unquote, a citizen journalist, is there a need to distinguish between a licensed, registered, recognizable press and any entity or individual sharing something publicly under the guise of being a journalist, being the press, being the media?
Yes, you see, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to communicate ideas applies to everybody. Okay, it doesn't apply only to members of the press. Okay, now. The complaint very often, as you know, very often the complaint is that, well, you see, there's need to regulate people who are not like trained journalists and who do not operate under the umbrella of a journalistic body. Because if you operate under the umbrella of a journalistic body, they have certain standards you are supposed to abide by. In other words, you could do something that is legal, but which they think is unethical.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So that they would
have a code of conduct of sorts.
Exactly.
Professional standards.
Exactly. So that it becomes like an extra measure of protection for members of the public. In that, you've got if you're a journalist and you're a member of our association, yes, there are some things which are legal but are unethical, and we can discipline for that.
Right.
So that has become an issue, of course, as you know, in this era where all of us are journalists. We've got to get onto Twitter if you've got 2,000 followers,
There you go.
Also a star, and you do that. But what they are trying to work in the UK and other places they're trying to work the difference between, like the line between cyberbullying, cyberbullying and freedom of speech.
Right.
In that case, actually, what they did was they recognized that there was cyberbullying, but in this particular case, is like the judge just never made the right distinctions, and the result, so it was very obvious for the Court of Appeal to say, no, this is a mistake. Now, the other thing I wanted to make about that case is that, in my view, some cases are politically motivated. In my view, but this is my private opinion, I think that the fact that Sandra, who I think does good things in the community, she's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think does some good things in the community. I feel that who she is was part of the reason why this happened, why she was convicted. I do not think actually that she should have been convicted at all. So that's the thing. But the second thing I wanted to mention, the public should watch out for the case. The case is called Simamba versus Ramsey Hale. This is the case where I've sued the Chief Justice as well as the Judicial and Legal Service Commission. This case is coming up on the 25th of September. I'm still waiting for the judge to tell me whether it will be a public hearing or not, but the hearing will be held then, and we'll see how that goes. But meanwhile, I just want to say there's still need. Mr. Makiva Bush called for an inquiry into his cases, but I am calling for inquiry into not just his cases, but the whole Judicial and Legal Service Commission, because of all these cases and how people are being prosecuted. Doctors Express is a particularly bad case. Up to now, government is spending, I understand they've spent up to 3 cases to try and fight a case where a judge has already found that some people behaved in a manner that was deliberately violating the law. They knew it was illegal, and there are emails which showed that they say, hey, we shall just use this as an excuse. And yet they went ahead and did that. Nobody's been punished for that. I can also mention in my own case, the same case, Simamba against Ramsey Hale, where I'm suing the Chief Justice and the Judicial and Legal Service Commission. A record relating to this case was deleted deliberately by the judiciary after I had made an FOI request. And I went to the Ombudsman. The Ombudsman made a finding of fact that they had deleted this record after I had made the request. Meanwhile, they continued saying that my case is frivolous and vexatious. I had actually been banned for 2 years from bringing any court case in relation to that matter without the approval of a judge. I had been banned for 2 years. That 2 years ended, and then I brought this case up now. I now have a right to have it heard, and the people really must watch all these issues. In closing, there must be an inquiry into the judicial and legal services and prosecuting authorities. I really have to stop here because when I get going, when I think about that girl who I knew, who used to work in the portfolio of legal affairs, a paralegal lady, I knew her fleetingly because we used to work together and so on. We were in different departments. They ruined her life and prosecuted her for saying she withheld a file and so on. Her supervisor, the Crown Counsel who was working with her, was never prosecuted. They have destroyed her life, and yet somehow people continue in there. You remember the PA also to Canova Watson. Also, they prosecuted her to a point where a judge even said, why do you have this lady here? Why do you have this lady here? They were forced to withdraw it. They just prosecuted her to see if she could talk, but otherwise there is no evidence. And they are ruining people's lives, spending government money, and they are not being held accountable. Let me stop there. I thank you.
Thank you for bringing some of these things into the public domain. That's certainly of public interest. Thank you very much, sir. And with that, let's take the final break and take some other calls when we come back.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And we'll continue with some open line as we go straight to the phones. Thank you for holding on. Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon to you, Sterling, man.
Hey, how are you today?
Pretty good, thank you. Having a little lunch and caught part of your program.
All right. Hey, hopefully that makes the lunch better. Certainly your call improves the program, so thanks.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Well, before I forget, help me to remember why I called was in relation to voting and the elections, but just chiming in on the last conversation you had with the last caller.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the whole notion surrounding freedom of speech and the whole nine, in my view. And there are a couple of things in my mind that needs to be cleared and considered. One, oftentimes many people will not have the wherewithal to be able to defend themselves, to be able to defend themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll leave things alone because they don't have the money to be able to go to a lawyer. So I think any sort of consideration in regards to rights or otherwise, that has to be played in the midst of it. I don't know how we do that, but there needs to be some consideration in that regard, because it doesn't make it right just because they didn't come forward and say, well, I'm going to take you to court. So we can, use live things that have taken place locally. The people who pursued things have often been, people that are very wealthy or has the wherewithal to be able to fight on that level. And another thing that came to mind, just because, if I accuse you of something and I say to you, well, you can't do nothing because it's the truth, because so-and-so said so. Well, that doesn't make it the truth, because you're not guilty until you're found guilty in the court of law for whatever it is you're accusing me of. So just because, unless that person takes me to court to say, X, Y, Z, then, what grounds do you have on to say it's the truth? You can't go before the court and say, well, Jack said this, or they brought me these papers. That person has to have ultimately been convicted of that particular thing in order for you to be able to stand on the ground and say X, Y, Z, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, I also make sure that in listening to you, you're sharing one.
I'm saying if John, if I accuse you of something, for example, it's not, you're not guilty just because you have evidence in your hand. It doesn't matter what it is, because ultimately that you are innocent until you have been proven guilty in court, because it's the court that determines your guilt.
Yeah. You need, but having said that, right, this is what I was going to ask. My understanding is that
and that works for all of us.
Right.
All of us. It's equal across the board for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. We made some.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. We made some amendments to our legislation that I've had some legal scholars share that it was, I don't know how they termed it, but my import from what they shared was perhaps putting us down a bad path. And two veins. One, this notion of adverse inference, in that what you're saying, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
And with that, if you are before the courts and you refuse to answer, you refuse sending, then somehow they will infer from that you have something to hide. And many would say that's not in keeping with a sound legal system or this idea.
But if I'm not mistaken, that is in reference to very criminal and major matters, isn't it not?
Well, I think, again, speaking to these legal scholars over the years, it is something that we may assume that was the motivation for it. But is it the only application? And by extension, could it apply to that heinous act as well as someone who, quote unquote, did something petty? Now, there were two other parts to that. If I am not conflating, certainly not confused by what was communicated, in that one, the policing apparatus, when arresting you, is not obligated to inform you of your rights and the right to remain silent.
Really?
Presumably under the Constitution. Now, you have that right, but no longer is that something that the police have to tell you, right? And
Sorry, Sterling, so that we're clear, you're saying that is the case now?
That is the case now, that even though and where that came up, and I'll ask the guy again, right? Because when the Constitution was being amended, it was that it wanted, from what he relayed, they wanted to remove that right altogether, that there was no right. And then the compromise was, well, you still have that right, but only if you know about it. The police has no obligation to tell you that you have the right to remain silent, right?
Sorry, now that you, so that I don't lose the thought, now that you've chimed in on it, I seem to remember that being something that was in the public domain way back when we thought about it. And if I can recall correctly, I remember the Attorney General at the time in Parliament speaking to that. And it was in relation to when we changed our gun laws and to do with everything to do with imitation firearms, very serious criminal offenses, that those kind of things may not apply. I think he tried to ring fence it around that, but you're saying some of the legal minds are saying that their potential challenge that they could drill down and bring it to the less serious things is what you're saying, and they would be okay in that. You wouldn't get your case thrown out then if they didn't read you your rights.
Pretty much, yeah. And I mean, this has been a while that I've had that, but I remember listening to these individuals and basically trying to be informed. And as they exchange their views, it seemed, now I know, we can go out and ask and perhaps get clarity, but this is where it's important. There are two things. I don't want you to use the train. I'll refer to a message from one of our listeners. But the other thing, that this notion that you can have someone testify and it's anonymous. Now, that was under the guise of protecting that witness, which many would understand the importance of having that. But again, these legal scholars said, well, as an accused, you should have a right to face your accuser. And you're not able to.
That came up in one of the cases too. I remember that. I don't remember which one it was. And they went into, I think, something they call veredum or some Roman name or something, where it's basically a hearing within a hearing to determine the specifics on. Oh yes, I think it was to do with the guy who was one of our Caymanian guys who was sent overseas to the UK, as I recall. And there was that whole argument surrounding that. But it's very interesting. I would imagine though that could also be challenged because it would be interesting we're not unique in this world, and we are an overseas territory that practices British law. So there should be some legal precedent somewhere in some jurisdiction that if not in the UK, that speaks to this whole notion about certainly the police declaring your rights and the things surrounding that. I mean, I find that shocking if they're thinking about drilling it down much deeper. I think at the time I was a little bit surprised that they were interested in doing that, but accepted it because of the seriousness of the case and not wanting somebody to be able to just get off just from the police forgetting to read them the rights. I don't know how you can forget to do that anyway if that's part of your duties to start with.
Yeah.
Those are just some thoughts that I had. And the only other one too was to do with that I had on the mind. Anyway, it's gone for me.
No, you were saying voting in the elections. That's what you called for. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get to that. No, there was something else I wanted to say on the other matter. But why I called is because you raised that issue, bro. All I have to say about that, the Caymanian and locally, it's not the first time we've heard that. I seem to have heard that multiple elections now. I don't know where that is raised from or where it's where that comes from each year, but in my view, that's just not possible. The elections law is governed, stipulates who can vote. So someone raising that now, there's no chance of that happening. That would have had to have been fleshed out in our elections law, and I don't think any Caymanian current parliamentarian is going to get up and ask for permanent residents to be able to vote. I don't care what quarters it's coming from. So it's not happening because it hasn't been debated in the House, and the law governs that. That would have to have been done by order of the UK, and I can't see the UK doing that, given a number of different things. We're not going to get into that right now, but I can't. They see, let's just put it this way, they see the potential for there being lopsidedness. Certainly Cayman would be a test for that, given the amount of expatriates that we have here, but I'm not sure what the PR number would be, but it would be hundreds. And two, there's no expectations anywhere in the world where nobody can vote in another country that they're not citizens of. And so why we would even entertain that or have people even think that they have a right to that? What would separate them then from being Caymanian? Because they would have the right to work, they would have the right to stay here, and now you have the right to be able to vote. That should be something you get as a result of being Caymanian. That makes no sense to me. And so I don't think... I don't think it's going to happen. It's governed by the elections law, and I don't think your mind should be too concerned about it right now. We got a couple of other things that's on the burner, in my view, that we need to be more concerned about, like that cruise ship referendum. I have many thoughts on that, in addition to, of course, my thoughts on the whole entire development thing. But thanks, Sterling. That's my thoughts, man.
Well, no, I certainly appreciate, and having the opportunity to engage all of our listeners. Our voice in a democracy should be one that is freely and fairly championed. So thank you for sharing, all right?
Thank you too, bro.
My friend across the table, is that it for today? He's like, yay. With seconds to spare, the day draws nigh. Hey, thank you very much. For some of us, this Wednesday has been wonderful. For others, it's been particularly challenging. Wherever you find yourself, be prayerful as you're pensive and positive. Have a purpose as you poise and position yourself for what is the promise of tomorrow, recognizing that to whom much is given, much is required, and for many of us, we're not even quite sure that we know our worth and our value the more we've been beaten, and sometimes just so downtrodden, but we're not defeated. We're not even depressed. We certainly don't have to become despondent or have any great sense of despair. And at the end of the day, we may find it to be disheartening, but we don't need to be discouraged. If we move forward in unity, strength in our community, recognizing that in each and every single one of us, there is something good and gracious. And if with a sense of gratitude we move forward to greatness, we'll find a community that is indeed safe, civil, and it's sobering to know that so many of us are willing to give tirelessly. There are many others who honestly don't, what they say, they don't really care. They really just don't care. But maybe there's a reason. They just need to be reminded that everything in this season. Well, I invite you to have a wonderful rest of this day. Let's join our hands and hearts together to make this place as great as it can be. It is indeed a wonderful space. Many have made great contributions. Many have extracted, some would say extorted, others would say certainly have experienced what is truly a unique space. So let's contribute. Not have to be equally. Let's just contribute as much as we can, and let's do so willingly and lovingly. Until tomorrow, my friends, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Tower.